This is The Extra Point, an Arizona's Family Originals podcast, sponsored by your Phoenix Suns.
Well, generally in life, you can't play the what-if game, unless you're our next guest, who I'm sure is doing it between now and Selection Sunday, because he's got to plan a bowl game, a couple bowl games here in the Valley of the Sports, and doesn't know who will be playing. We will know on Sunday. The one, the only Erik Moses joins us back in studio for a live conversation. Your Fiesta Bowl president and CEO. Good to see you. How's the level of anticipation, wondering who's going to be playing in the Fiesta Bowl?
It's high, but that's a good thing for us, right? I mean, this expanded playoff has, I think, raised the level of enthusiasm across the country because there's so many more fan bases that now have a vested interest in seeing who's going to make it into the field of 12. So it's great. Combine that with the fact that ASU is on fire and outperforming what I think reasonably any of us thought they would do this year, and going to compete for a Big 12 championship this weekend and possibly be in the running to compete for a national championship. Football is feeling pretty good in the Valley.
All right, you nailed it. You nailed it in our last conversation, predicting that the Sun Devils would be in the bowl game. Now, you did say you wanted the Wildcats there as well, but we're going to just crumple that up. Save
them for next year.
But I mean, if you could nail one of your predictions, because we asked you for predictions from like July on. So, but what would
you remember my other prediction?
What was it? Was it ASU Texas?
It was Oregon was going to win the Big Ten and the national championship.
Yes.
I'm starting to feel kind of smart.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, but is this weekend going to be chaos, or should we just look? And this is just the fun that we have asked you. What's going to happen? Look into your crystal ball. What's going to happen this weekend?
So I think ASU wins the Big 12 championship. I think Boise State wins the Mountain West Championship. And because Boise State is now ranked 10th and ASU is 15th, I'm not sure that ASU leapfrogs them in order to get the bye. So that means we have to look at the ACC Championship, which is the last one that gets played on Saturday. If Clemson, as a 3-loss team, beats SMU, a 1-loss team, then maybe ASU gets in there and they get a bye. And so they end up hopefully in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. If not, and SMU wins, then they could end up being the 5th automatic qualifier. That would then mean they'd have to play a first-round game, probably against the 12th seed, which, they'll be the 12th. They'll be the 12th seed, and they'd play the 5 seed, which right now looks like it could be maybe Penn State or maybe Notre Dame on their campuses. And so we'll see.
I'm sure moving the board around, you have like in your office, like it's all sorts of different helmets you're moving around, like you were a kid with the NFL helmets or something like that. What is it? What would it mean to have ASU in the Fiesta Bowl?
I mean, ASU is inextricably linked to our origin story. I mean, the Fiesta Bowl exists because ASU was having problems qualifying for bowl games or being invited into bowl games in the late 60s. Our 9 founders decided, hold our beer, we'll create our own game, and it's going to be the best one in the country. And they did that in a very short period of time. And so having that school here in its backyard in a game that's part of, a playoff system, a new tournament for college football, it'd be huge. And they haven't been in the game since 1983. Wow. So I think all that pent-up demand for ASU to return to its former self and to be one of the better teams in the country, I think we'd see it on display. I know we will. I believe in you, Arizona.
So what is that process like in your office with all the helmets and all the different scenarios? You do like beautiful mind putting them all together? Do you have like a board? What's it look like?
Never been accused of having a beautiful mind.
Well, you went to North Carolina. Like Nick King says, it's like the Harvard of of North Carolina.
It's just the Harvard.
There you go.
Yeah. Harvard. Yeah, tries to be like us. So we find out who plays in both our games when everybody else finds out. Everybody expects that we have some say in it and we can determine. We don't. The CFP tells us who's going to be in our games. And this year, it won't be 2 teams. This year, it'll be 1 team that has a bye and then 2 other teams that will play a first-round game. So we'll find out about 3 teams that could play in our. So I could do all that beautiful mind stuff. It wouldn't make a difference. We're going to prepare like we do every year to make our bowl game the best game that both teams have ever participated in, that their fans, that their team, that the travel parties have ever experienced. We set the bar high every year, no matter what. So our preparation will be the same. So we're gonna run through the finish line like always.
All right. So walk me through a couple scenarios. ASU wins.
Yep.
So you said they're in.
Yep.
But Boise State would probably be the host of the Fiesta Bowl. ASU has to go on the road. Is there a chance ASU plays Notre Dame, wins that game, and plays Boise State as the road team in your game?
Absolutely, there's a chance for it.
That would be tremendous.
Yeah.
Okay, so ASU loses. You said maybe they get in if something happens in the ACC championship. But let's start with the SEC championship because it's my Texas Longhorns.
Indeed.
Georgia wins. Texas probably hosts a playoff game.
Right.
Maybe ASU goes there if they win, potentially.
To Texas?
And the winner
if
of that game.
Texas falls to 5.
Okay.
Which
Losing
I
to Georgia.
guess could happen. Yeah, that could happen.
Yeah.
That's an intriguing game.
Like, well, is 5 like the? I mean, 5 could be 8 different teams right now.
It could be a lot of teams.
Are you getting texts from all over the country? Is anybody just kind of feeling it out? Like, hey, what will this look like? Or is everybody just like wait until Sunday?
Everybody's just waiting. Everybody's just waiting. I get text messages and phone calls about the Rate Bowl, right? Because we actually have some say in that in terms of a draft order for the Big 10 and the Big 12 conferences. And so I've got ADs saying we'd really love to come to the Valley, which is a great thing. I think that comes from the years of, again, providing that world-class hospitality. And so that's interesting. Everybody else is just waiting. We're all speculating.
What does the Rate Bowl look like as far as Sunday goes? Does anything this weekend impact the Rate Bowl, or is it all a trickle down? And how does the Pac-12 even still enter into this?
It is a trickle down. The Big 12 championship could affect it in some ways because the loser is not likely to make it into the CFP, so they would be available in the pool of bowl eligible teams for all of the bowls that have a tie with the Big 12. Yeah, I think that is that's kind of how that would work.
All right. So as far as the Rate Bowl goes, you have a lot of stuff planned this year at Chase Field. How's that coming together? The whole tailgate party and just the whole atmosphere you're trying to provide around these bowl games.
Great because of the 3:30 kick. Right. I mean, that feels like a blessing to us to not expect people to come out at 7:30 or 8:30 at night for this football game, which is worth coming out no matter what time it is. But having a 3:30 kick that feels more like regular football viewing time and tailgating time, I think is going to help us a great deal. Having people come downtown in Phoenix for the holidays, you got the holiday spirit going on. We're giving you an opportunity to come together and have a good time before seeing a fantastic football game. And this year, we know we will have a Big 10 versus Big 12 matchup, because both conferences have qualified enough teams, have enough bowl eligible teams to satisfy all of their contracts.
So Big 12, Big 10 championship could have a trickle down effect on the Rate Bowl, basically.
Yes.
And
we wouldn't get on either side either of the teams, any of the 4 teams playing in those championship games, unfortunately, based on their pecking order. But yes, it affects the trickle down.
Right. So what number is it again for Big 12? And
we get the 5th pick in the Big 12 and the 6th pick in the Big 10.
Well, that's not nothing.
No.
I mean, yeah. That'll be a good football game and a good fan base, hopefully from a cold weather area, coming out here and watching the Rate Bowl. As far as New Year's Eve goes for the Fiesta Bowl, excitement level about kickoff time and what you can provide this year, not just the game but the atmosphere.
Yeah, 5:30 again helps, as opposed to 11:30 in the morning or something like that when people are trying to have Bloody Marys for breakfast, I guess. So we're excited about that. I mean, there's obviously been some upgrades and things done at the stadium, so we're excited about that too. Hopefully the Cardinals will be doing well, so there'll just be more football energy and enthusiasm in the state is a good thing for us. So we're happy about that. We think we'll have a lot of energy, and our fan festival will be great. And we're trying to shut street down across from the stadium and just make it more feel like a block party.
If the Sun Devils were able to play in the Fiesta Bowl, what do you think ticket demand would look like?
I hope it would outstrip supply. I hope it would be off the charts. I mean, really, and I've said this to a bunch of people, like, shame on us as Arizonans and Phoenicians if we don't come out to support this team. Given where they were in recent history, given how quickly Kenny has turned this thing around in a way that I don't think anybody predicted. Maybe Kenny didn't even predict it, right? It would be a shame not to show them our full support and to make certain that stadium was packed, no matter who they play. And I'm not taking sides or any of that about the outcome of the game, but the support should be there. And as you and I have talked about before, I mean, we are fortunate to have a game that is part of the CFP playoff system. None of that is guaranteed indefinitely. We've still got to show up and work. And so I tell people, you vote with your feet. You know, Las Vegas is has got a new stadium. Nashville's building a new stadium. We're in really good stead, and they love us at the CFP and across college football. They appreciate the experience that teams have when they come here, but take nothing for granted. And so whether ASU is in our game or anybody else, I think we should take advantage of the fact that we have a playoff game. We will see a team that is pursuing a national championship here every year for the next several years.
And what, quarterfinal this year, semifinal after that?
Yep.
Is there a scenario where another national championship game could return to the Valley?
Yes. It would not be a Fiesta Bowl game, but yes, we could be a host for that, and that is being pursued.
Yes?
Yes.
Are you part of are you wearing yellow jackets? Do you need any help?
I am.
We need another big event here in the Valley of Sports. It's been a minute since we've had.
I will call you in. I'll call you in quickly. You know.
As far as just let's just take the top 18 teams. I mean, how much turbulence do you think there's going to be on Saturday? Like how much frustration is there going to be for who gets left out?
There will always be frustration. Yeah. I mean, I told somebody the other day, we've gone from 4 teams to 12 teams. You know, the 5th and 6th team were upset last year. The 13th and 14th team will be upset this year. I mean, but we live in an age and time where if they're not talking about you and about your sport, maybe you're irrelevant. And so this has energized, I think, the fan base in ways that the sport can and is benefiting from. So I think there'll be a lot. There is this notion of, okay, SEC and Big Ten, do they get extra credit for being more difficult or challenging conferences top to bottom than, say, ACC or Big 12 or Mountain West or what have you? And you just got to look at the rankings, and you can answer that, I think, for yourself. And so I think there will be some gnashing of teeth as a result of the way things shake out. But that's going to be the case every year. I will make the prediction here today that there will never be a year where the rankings come out and the seedings come out that there won't be some fan base that's not upset.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that makes sense. We didn't win enough games. Is there a team that you were watching to play in your game and just get into the playoff that you think might be able to shock the world?
ASU. I mean, I saw Boise play San Jose State in person a couple of weeks ago. It was a tough game in the first half. I mean, they pulled away in the second half. And San Jose State is a good team. They're a bowl eligible team. But it didn't seem like that Boise State team would be the same team to only lose to Oregon by 3 points. Now, that Oregon team is a different team now than it was at the beginning of the season. And so I think ASU is getting hot at the right time. South Carolina is a really hot team right now. I don't know that they have a path to get in anywhere. So I would say if I'm a betting man, I'd say ASU could shock the world.
What about my Texas Longhorns? I mean,
I don't know that they would be a shock.
Yeah,
like people expect.
I would
them.
be shocked. We're like the Suns. Then like we had the 10 years of not doing anything, and then all of a sudden we're good, but we kind of put the ball on the ground a little bit.
Yeah, I think. Look, I think Texas could win it all, and I would not be surprised if they did. I think the way they play against Georgia in this SEC championship will tell us a lot.
Well, I want to win round 3 in the playoff. I think we should rest the starters in round 2, so we could go host a home playoff game, play in the Fiesta Bowl.
You don't want them to try to win the SEC championship?
I do. I'm just kind of being facetious. I only care about round 3.
People are saying that kind of stuff, though.
Right.
Like, I don't want my team to play in the conference championship. We'd rather have
crazy.
I think momentum. There's something to be said for momentum.
Sure.
And guys sitting out and teams taking weeks off. I mean, you want to get healthy because it's football, but at the same time, if things are clicking, you kind of want an opportunity to keep things rolling.
If Boise State is playing in your game, do you think you'll have the Heisman Trophy winner playing in your game?
It's possible. If I had a vote, which I do not, Travis Hunter gets the Heisman Trophy.
I agree.
It's for the best player in college football. Yes. And while what Ashton Genty is doing is remarkable, anytime you're mentioned with Barry Sanders and Ricky Williams, that's remarkable. But what Travis Hunter is doing is incredible. I mean, the number of snaps he plays, he'd be a wide receiver 1 on probably every team in the country. and then he's a shutdown corner. And here's the thing that I didn't realize, Mark, that all of us are taking for granted. He's doing that at altitude in Colorado.
I didn't even think about that.
He's doing it at altitude.
Wow.
I mean, and the dude doesn't ever seem like he's tired.
No, he just plays with joy.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And he does play with joy. And I love seeing that, So I think he deserves it, and I hope he will win it.
Awesome. All right, we've accomplished a lot here. Last question for you, then we're going to get you over to TV to talk to your fellow Tar Heel Nick King.
That's right. Go Heels.
Yeah, who might be hiring Bill Belichick, according to Twitter reports.
I'll take it if it means CFP
pursuits. Then Bill Belichick and the Tar Heels could be here in a couple years playing in the national championship.
That'd be great.
We'd have to have you back in to discuss.
I'd love it.
I love a parade, though. Jake Mowry, behind the glass, is switching this. He will be directing the Fiesta Bowl parade. My wife April will be one of the hosts. Parade. Like what are you looking for in a parade? What should people know about coming out and watching the parade as well as the 2 bowl games?
I mean, it sounds like it's a slam dunk based on the first 2 things that you mentioned. We got Jake and we got your wife. I mean,
right.
I think I don't have to worry about this thing at all.
I have to be there, and I think I'd go by choice. Yes.
Look, last year was my first year in it, and it was great. It's just such a wonderful expression of kind of Arizonan pride and Phoenician pride. And to see little kids out there and their parents and families out there enjoying kind of seeing the processional, I think is fantastic. We want people to come out and have a good time. It's part of the holiday kind of, season here in the Valley. And so who doesn't like a great parade?
All right, you can watch that game on Arizona's Family, 3 TV. I want to be one of those guys that rides a lawnmower in the parade at some point in my life. But
I dig that. We'd have to put you at the end because it'd be kind of slow.
Like alongside me, like we could race? Or are you
we're on John Deere's?
Yeah. Are you in a car waving?
I'm in a car, and I'm hoping this year, fingers crossed, that I can convince both my sons to ride with me on the back of a vehicle this year.
How old are they?
24 and 18.
Oh, come on.
We'll see.
Yes.
They can be a little bit shy.
Okay.
And so
Just
we'll see.
Wave.
Yeah. Oh no, I got it down last year. 2 miles is a long
right.
long trip. I got a little hoarse by the end of that. Speaking to people, I was like, oh, carpal tunnel. Oh my God. Like put me on the IR. It's great, and I hope people will come out. And if they don't come out, then watch it on your air.
Yeah, go out and then come home and record it and watch it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thanks for coming out. Thanks for being here in studio, and get some sleep now because it's going to be a fun couple weeks here.
I think I missed my window. We'll sleep in February.
The Extra Point Podcast is a production of 3TV, CBS 5, and azfamily.com in Phoenix, Arizona.